So here we are in Clontibret, of course, the MonaghanGAA Centre of Excellence. It's the media night for the Greenfield Foods Senior Championship Final. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by representatives here from the Clontibret Club. And the furthest man away from me, I'm going to have a quick word for you first, Vinny, because the last I seen of you, you were kind of being held up, being taken off a field in St Chernock's Park. It's great to see you're here, fit and raring and ready to go. No after effects of that particular knock?
No, thank God. I suppose at the time I got a knee into the chest and I got winded, and that was fine. It went, but then when I went to get back up off the ground, now it was very hard to get up. I thought maybe I did a bit of damage to the ribs or something like that there, but it turned out I had a wee tear on the hip at the start of the year, and whenever way I came down, it kind of flared up. So it was just a case, thank God, it's just rest up for a week or two and it's grand. So no major damage done, thank God.
That's the most important thing. Looking forward then to the big occasion as well, a county final.
Absolutely. Listen, I suppose in Clontibret, we're no different than any other club. We love getting to the county final. We really missed it last year. Sometimes you get to a few county finals, you take it for granted. I suppose this year you probably seen as soon as we were in it, the flags were up. Everybody, young and old, in the club's looking forward to it, and the players are looking forward as well.
That's the important thing. Cathal, it was mentioned there, I suppose, a little bit of hurt from last year, dropping at the second last hurdle, the semi-final, missing out on the big occasion, something that they've gotten used to, I suppose, in previous years, and that hurt maybe is what drove you, because beaten in the opening round of it away back at the very start, but then made your path through then in the back door.
Absolutely. Beaten in May, it's a long way from May to August, so listen, it was easy enough to regroup, have a look at what we were doing. Backdoor suits Clontibret too, a run of games as well right through August. We improved through every game, so we know we have a big hurdle to cross, but listen, we're in a good place at the moment, and that's the main thing.
You talk about the big hurdle. In fairness, you went over that hurdle back in 2014, caught everybody by surprise, bar yourselves maybe?
Oh yeah, whenever Clontibret get into a final, there's no sense of inferiority there. Scotstown are a great team. They're a very good team. Ulster Club finalists last year, reigning county champions. We know what's ahead of us, but we think we're a good team too. So we're looking forward to the encounter, there's no doubt about that.
And I'm sure you're delighted that the man alongside you here, I'm sure maybe there was an element of nervousness when you seen him coming off in the semi-final that day, that you're delighted that he's back and fit and raring to go, along obviously with the rest of the panel. Absolutely.
I was surprised he just didn't hop back up, in fairness. He wanted a wee break, maybe have a chat with me on the line. But yeah, he seems good to go, and that's the main thing. Yeah, he's a good leader, Vinny. He's important in the dressing room. The lads like him, and yeah, it's good to have Vinny, of course, leading your team out in a county final. Who wouldn't want him?
Chairman beside me here as well, Aidan, it was mentioned there that the flags in bunting has gone up already, because Clontibret for a while were getting used to these big occasions, and then all of a sudden nothing last year, so it wasn't hard to get the flags back out again.
No, very easy to motivate the lads. I think they're right there at 7:30 on Saturday morning and walked on to 12:30, and the whole area is covered in flags, and it's great to see.
And it's wonderful as well, because as I say, you never tire of these occasions. You've been there, you know what it's like, but still when it comes round, it still becomes a massive part of the local area.
Oh, it's just massive for all the school kids and all. They're really looking forward to getting geared up, and it's just a great buzz,
It was interesting, Vinny, coming back to you again, obviously involved heavily with the Intercounty panel, and I know maybe the championship ended a little bit earlier this year than you would have intended, but speaking to those maybe outside of the game, they said it aided maybe the senior championship in particular here in Monaghan, because those senior players were fit to come back to their clubs, and it gave rise to a better championship. Did you find it yourself that it was better to be getting back into your club at an earlier stage?
Yeah, possibly. Listen, you don't want to lose any game. We lost at the Longford. We felt we could have went further in it. But yeah, I suppose the last number of years when the county's going well, you come back into your club and you have maybe a week and a half before you play a championship match. Now, I suppose in the last few years, we had won the first round, and you were going in, it still wasn't knockout. But this year, you were going in straight into a knockout game. So I suppose, in hindsight, having a few more weeks to prepare for that did benefit the likes of ourselves and all clubs that have maybe 4 or 5 county players on it. I'm sure those club managers are secretly delighted to have their club players back and get working on stuff.
I was just going to say, as a question I should put to the manager, I'm sure you were delighted, obviously, to be getting your players back like that and made available to you, Cal.
Like a small party, it would, but to be honest, we've all been really captivated by the Ulster Championship wins in 13 and 15. My dad, myself, I take the kids to Croke Park and that, so that's good too. Listen, back a few weeks earlier, yes, it's helped us, but how Monaghan have performed too, it's been good for football in the county, and we have to appreciate that too. It builds a level of excitement and interest. You know, even when you go down to our juveniles, there's so many of them there at the moment. So and they do follow a lot of the senior and the county players. So it has its pros and cons, but to have them back a week or two early certainly has helped us this year. I
know I remarked to you about losing out way back in May, and you said there's a long time between May and August, but every game in the championship after that, there was that added bite of knowing, well, if this one goes, that's it, you're out of the championship. Does that go down through the team? I'm sure from a management point of view it does, and that you know you're in last chance saloon.
Yeah. To a degree, but we've some very experienced players. You know, when you're in the game itself, they know how to manage a game. I don't think we ever felt like that. You know, even when we were down a player in Latin, and we never felt like that. We always knew we can get a result if we played to our potential. And as the games progressed, we certainly did. You know, we got better and better, and we progressed well throughout August. So, while you always want and expect to be in a county final, to get there, you know, it's hard work. Players put in a hard work, but we're there and it's good, and we know we have a big obstacle to overcome.
Certainly do, taking on the defending champions. Success breeds success, Aidan. As I say, you're in there as chairman of the club. In the early years of it, in retrospect, in comparison to the chairman that was previous there, this is a whole new occasion for you.
Yes, definitely a whole new occasion for me, and it's exciting. It's great to be here, and I'm really looking forward to the occasion.
It'll be another smash and grab like the last day in 2014, do you think?
Well, I was in the stand urging on the team, and it was brilliant excitement the last 10 minutes where Clontibret just got on top, and you could see the fight and determination of the Clontibret lads, and the 2-1 and win it. It was absolutely brilliant.
It certainly was. Vinny, maybe smash and grab wasn't the right way to say it for that last win back in 2014, but it certainly was the case, and Aidan maybe touched on it there, that you suddenly maybe got the run on Scotstown and you knew you had them on the rack and you just kept pushing, and you can reflect back and know that you did take them in a county final.
Yeah, well, listen, there's different perspectives on it. Of course, we'd like to think that. I suppose speaking to Scotstown mentors and Scotstown players after, they felt it was one that they left behind at half-time, that they were completely on top, and it was more something that they did rather than something we did to win it. Listen, we won it at the end of the day. We were glad to get over it, but listen, we know coming back now, it's a different occasion. It's not going to be... I don't think 2014 will have a massive bearing in this game. Both teams have got beaten in the championship this year. Both teams have gone through the back door, and both teams are in the final. Once you get to a final, whatever you've done up along the way, you know you're one performance away from the cup, no matter what you've done before. So we're in that position. We're one performance away from it, and it's up to us over the next 2 weeks to try and nail down a few things and get ourselves as right as we possibly can be on the day.
And finally, I suppose, I know you're coming up against the majority of your intercounty players as well, I suppose, that'll be on the Scotstown team. Of course, you have the backing of your own, then intercounty players in your own club as well. Club rivalry, I suppose, outweighs anything when it comes to the county?
It does, yeah. No, we won't be asking any questions of them, and they'll be asking no questions of us. Listen, county players, they play for the county, but when they're back with their clubs, that's who they want to win for, and we'll be no different.